Our final supporting energy for the evening is to trust that we have help coming from the angelic realms. We have divine intervention coming our way. And we also are encouraged to trust that those who have been working in the shadows will hang themselves by their own ropes. And what Spirit means here is that those who have been plaguing innocence for a very long time, those who have been distorting and inverting love and what this matrix and this physical reality was, actually designed to be, that is going to be revealed. Spirit often calls them the bad actors or the powers that were. But we really are encouraged to trust that those in the shadows are going to be kind of put on display, but through their own undoing, which of course, makes it even better when it's their own plans that have foiled them. And I always get, drawn back to Scooby-Doo and how, at the end, it was always the masks coming off. And, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you, kids, you lousy kids. And this feeling that, that's kind of how this is going to go down as well. But we have to trust that we are receiving this angelic help, this miraculous aid, and that our sincere prayers are being answered according to the will of the divine. This also, Spirit says, represents divine intervention and the potential of miracles to heal and transform as if by magic. Have faith, whatever the circumstances. Know that there is always a way through. And the next lyrics were, you didn't know someone could love you this much. And once again, Spirit coming through the lyrics tonight to really personify that relationship with source awareness, that when we really desire to know God in our hearts, we begin to have a personal relationship, one that is unlike any other, unique only to us. And it's something, like I said, it's something you cannot explain until you feel it within your own body. But all that we have to do to know it, to feel it, is to desire it and to trust that it's coming in its perfect divine timing. So once again, heavenly beings are watching over us. We're being given a glimpse of our divine future when we are open to the activations and the synchronicities that are showing up in our weave. These are messages which are whispered on the wind. And that is why we have to be present, because if we are not fully present, we're going to miss some of these subtle, more nuanced messages from the divine. And that's why daily meditation and reflection and inquiry, any type of devotion or prayer, is necessary to understand what we are facing in these current times. And particularly if we want to be a light for others, we have to know the shadows. It's nice to say, I want to only stay in the light. I only want to stay in the love. But if we're not integrating the shadow within ourselves, we're not going to be able to help others to understand and to navigate the collective shadow whose layers are now being revealed. So here's where Spirit's like, don't go into fear though, because all the answers and the remedy to all that ails is going to be offered from the divine. And I'm reminded here that, in the forest, when there is a plant that is poisonous, the remedy is always growing nearby. And that is what Spirit wants us to remember when things get tough, when things look bleak on the physical level. We can always trust that there is more going on in the unseen realms, in the spiritual realms. And when we tune into that through meditation, active listening, active receiving, and through prayer, active dialogue with God, then we are able to be in the pocket. We're able to be in the zone and be in that right place, right time. We are experiencing right now inspired thought, which is leading change in a positive direction. And once again, Spirit says all the answers and remedies to all that ails are being offered from the divine. The past unravels as the present is fully revealed. We're encouraged to observe our own thoughts, to stay out of the drama, to take everything in, to synthesize it, yet to remain in a neutral, observant perspective. To pray for discernment. That is huge right now. Praying for discernment to know what is the truth when we are confused or feeling disoriented, particularly by the current energies that are afoot. And to trust and engage in the higher consciousness and the light codes available to all who wish to receive. Once again, spending time alone in nature, preferably early in the morning or in the evening, to connect with the Mother Spirit, which will always nurture and refresh and restore and renew our light body, which of course then allows our mental, emotional, and physical bodies to be restored as well. And that praying, meditating, journaling, any act of devotion will always allow us to more easily navigate our confusion and the chaos that's around us, as well as strengthen our personal relationships with the Creator. If we do not yet experience this intimate connection, we pray that our hearts be open and shown the truth. And so knowing that we're never actually separate, it's only the human self, the ego self, that can even believe that that is such. And we allow ourselves to have that experience, that am I question mark experience, so that we can actually fully know all the layers of ourselves. And Spirit says this allows our focus and spiritual antenna to expand to receive the infinite channels of divine reception. Our prayers will always be answered in perfect timing, beautifully and often quite humorously, when we have eyes to see and ears to hear. The lyrics, first the earth was flat, but it fattened up when we didn't fall off. Now we spin laps around the sun. All the gods lost 2-1, and holes to heaven pointed out to us from light years away. We're surrounded by a billion galaxies. Things are not always what they seem. Things are not always how they seem. Will you be ready? Will you be ready? The interim of life has got you tiptoed and pinning all your hopes on the top dog of dreams. Things are not always how they seem. They don't turn out always, don't point out, turn always how we think. Will we be ready? Will we be ready? And so Spirit asks us, are we ready? Because we are, once again, feeling our way through the dark. It's what we've been talking about since Sanctuary started in November of 2021, that our relationship with our soul, that which is connected to Spirit, which allows us to form that Trinity, what we would call, the human, the mother and the father consciousness coming together in our own hearts. This is what allows us to be right place, right time. This is what allows us to receive the guidance that is personal to us, so that we no longer have to venture outside of ourselves to authority figures or to friends or family, because we have quelled the confusion. We are, the stillness of this river. We are that reflection. And so once again, the supporting energies that we are shifting our perspective of security, and we're doing it individually, we're doing that collectively, and that does not necessarily feel comfortable. But when we understand that that's what's happening, we can more readily kind of drop into peace and a more sense of calm around it, knowing that we are also being given a new navigational system that is going to allow us to feel security beyond our wildest imagination. And through this process, we're awakening to our spiritual gifts. We're receiving angelic help, miraculous aid, and divine intervention. And we're learning the power of prayer through our intimate connection with Source. So it's a really beautiful time. It can feel really hard, can feel really challenging. Spirit acknowledges all of this, but we can also feel joy. We can feel refreshed. We can feel nourished. We can feel life force moving through us. And of course, at times it may take work, but through our daily devotion, through our commitment to ourselves, and through our commitment to our higher intent, to wanting the highest good for all, we can actually begin to create a new weave and a new world, and come together as the Penn Staters would say, as the we are, when the I am all comes together. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Those of you on the call, will take a few seconds to close down the space and open up any questions for the after call for the Tea and Cookies chat. Those of you listening in the replay beyond, if you'd like to join us to be a live guest, feel free to do so on our Patreon site. Search Gnoshery Libertas, or on the Buy Me a Coffee site under Gnoshery Cafe. Once again, thank you guys so much for being here live on the call tonight. I appreciate your energy and the alchemy we create, and I look forward to talking to you on the after call.